So before we start it, I want to launch a small poll and ask you, how often do you use Knovel? This is anonymous, so nobody will know who you are. Just, I hope you can see the poll now on the screen. Just choose one answer, submit it, and then we can see the results. And this is a good way for me to know your level of expectations or your level of knowledge, and will help me guide the presentation. Okay, I see 60% have answered. 80%. Thank you very much. Okay, so you can see the results here. I see more than 50 have no idea what Knovel is, which is perfect. You came to the right meeting. I'm going to show you exactly what Knovel is, how to use it, and how it can help you in your everyday work. And even for the 2 people who said that they use Knovel all the time, maybe you will learn something new. And of course, if you have any questions, please let me know. First of all, this is how you connect to Knovel. So if you use the URL, if you type in the URL app.knovel.com, if you have now 2 monitors, you can actually do it and have in one monitor the presentation and on the other monitor Knovel, and you can try anything I show you along the way. So if you have it, you're welcome to try. Today, we're going to talk about what is Knovel and where does the data come from. We're going to learn how to search in Knovel, and we have regular search and a property search. We're going to show the interactive tools. We have equations, tables, graphs, and a unit converter. We're going to show what is My Knovel. This is your personal space. And we also talk about Knovel to Go, which is the app that we have for phones and tablets, which you can download free. So what is Knovel? Knovel enables easy access to trusted and reliable scientific sources. So whenever you are looking for data, usually you go to Google, and the problem with Google is you get all the data in the world, and it's really hard to understand exactly which part of the data is good for you and which part of the data is reliable. Now, with Knovel, you know that any piece of data is trusted and reliable, and you can use it. We have over 9,500 books, standards, and handbooks. We have over 150 trusted publishers, and we have over 80 million data points, including material and chemical property data. So all the data in Knovel, some of it, actually the majority of it is from the Elsevier publication, but we have a lot of other publications that we add together for the customers to have the whole umbrella of the information. Let's see how to search in Knovel. The idea is to save you a lot of search time, because most of the time you spend on searching instead of using the data. We have 2 kinds of searches. We have the regular search, which is the free text, and the property search. And the property search, which is based on material properties. And by the way, in Knovel, you have a few segments that you can apply to. And these are all the segments that you have. So in Knovel, these are all the topics that you are able to see. Now, when you search in Knovel, I will show you, you can also see the results that you don't have the access to, and you can ask if you need to, just so you know. Now, as I said before, a lot of people spend most of the time by searching the data and not actually using the data. And we want to save you this time so you can be more efficient. Sorry, that came back twice. So this is the website, this is the homepage for Knovel, and we have the search Knovel, which is the free text, and the property search, but we will start with the search Knovel. And let's say we're looking for vibration failures. This is the result page. You can see here the keyword, the query that you post, and you can see here the appearance of the keyword. And you have here this bar. This bar lets you know what type of information you have. So of course you have you have books and text, you have definitions from dictionaries and encyclopedias, and you will see later that you will have graphs and tables and equations. We'll get to that a bit later. There's also here on the right-hand side, you have Engineering Village. This is another tool that we have, and I will touch on it a little bit later. But just to give you a heads up, this is another tool of Elsevier, and Knovel and Engineering Village work perfectly together. And we're going to give you a free trial starting this Monday. And I will show you a little bit later how to use it. After you choose one of the results to look into, This is the page. This is the chapter from the book. And you can see the keyword here. You can see the appearance here. And this is the bar when you can share it with someone. You can print it, send it, get the citation, do anything you want. We want you to be able to collaborate. In this section, you can add notes. Anybody who you share the note with can add something to this note. And then there's a great way to collaborate between the team and between your colleagues. You also have here a link to the book itself. So this is only part of the book. If you want to see the whole book, you can click here. And then you will see the whole book and the table of content. So again, if you find something, it seems interesting, you want to keep reading, go to the book, see the table of content, find anything you need, and just click on it and you can read it. It's available for you. Any questions before I move on to the property search, which is the second way of searching in Knovel? Okay. So we talked about a free text, and there is a property search. Here we can search according to the properties of a material. For example, if we choose aluminum, we have almost 3,000 results, but we can narrow it down. Here on the right side, we have the properties, and we can search for a keyword, let's say heat, and we can find heat transfer coefficient. I can drag and drop it, and I will later show you it also on the browser. I can drag and drop it, and then from 3,000, I get 9 results. Mm-hmm. And if you see here, there is the word exists. It means I have 9 results for something that mentioned aluminum and also heat transfer coefficient. But I can even narrow it down further. Instead of exists, I can choose that the heat transfer coefficient would be greater or equal to, choose the value, choose the unit, and then I narrow it down to 2 results.
Oh, wow.
Now, it doesn't end there. You can choose another property. So I can also add solar heat gain coefficient. And then when I choose them both, I have 1 result. So this is a perfect way to show how we can save you a lot of time. If you know what you're looking for, or if you know of a range of properties that you're looking for, just type them in and you can have it. Interactive tools. Knovel makes calculation easy. We have tables, graphs, equations, and a unit converter. And let me move to the browser to show you exactly how it works. So this is my browser. This is the homepage. And for example, I can look for fatigue analysis. I already launched this search. This is all of the results. And you can see here, I chose graphs and tables, and I chose only tables. So instead of going to the book and seeing an image of a table, and then it's really hard to get the data from it, we made it interactive. And it looks like that. There is a table here. You can move the columns around. You can choose the sorting by ascending or descending. You can toggle off columns if you don't need to, if you don't want to, or if you don't need them. You can filter by the value in the column. And once you're done filtering to whatever you want, you can export it as a PDF or a Microsoft Excel file. So when you go to a book and you see a table, it's really hard to extract the data from it. But when you use Knovel, you can refine it, filter it, whatever you want, and then you can get it directly as an Excel and you can send it to someone. And then you can manipulate the data and do whatever you want with it. The other thing is a graph. So same thing here. When you see a graph, when it's only an image, there is no way to get the data from it. But you can click here on the live graph. And 2 more seconds. And you will have an interactive one. And it means that you can choose points on the graph, and they are added here on the left side. You can even choose another set, choose several sets. And once you're done choosing the right points for you, you can export it again as an image or a Microsoft Excel file. So this is a really nice way when instead of seeing a graph, try to understand exactly what are the units, what are the measurements, and then send it to someone. Is a great way to do it in almost no time. Another thing, and this is my favorite personally, is the equations. For example, I chose here to look for heat transfer, and I have here the equation tab. I chose one of them. I already opened it here. So you can have the net radiant heat transfer. You have the equation, you have an explanation, you have explanations about the parameters, and you can choose the open worksheet. When you click on that, this is a live worksheet. And you can see, again, the parameters. You can see here the conditions for the parameters, what is valid, what is invalid. And here is the results according to these values. And you can change it. So for example, this one is 200, but I can change it to 500. And if you look down at the green rectangle, when I click enter, it changes the result. So you can play around. You can, if you need to, you can add some arithmetics or some parameters or many more things if you need to make any changes in the equation itself. And of course, you can download it. You can export it to MathCAD or an image file or an Excel spreadsheet, anything you need. You can also save it as a Knovel worksheet, send it to someone and tell them, hey, I changed here the values, I added some parameters, check it out. And the last thing is the unit converter. Whenever you need to convert some units, usually I go to Google, and for different units, I get different converters, and sometimes it's a mess. And here it's really simple. Just type here the value. You choose the unit from here. You have here all the units. And if you find a unit that you can't find here, which I doubt because it never happens, but if it happens to you, you can click here and put the new unit that you have and convert it. And here I chose a simple example of Celsius to Fahrenheit. Do you have any questions about any of those interactive tools? Okay. So let's go back to the presentation. And let's talk a little bit about My Knovel. My Knovel is your personal space. It's where you can save, share, and set alerts. This is how it looks like. We have a few tabs. Let's start with the My Saved Items. The first thing is alerts. And alerts are based on the queries. So whenever you have a query, you can set an alert. And every time there is a new data point, a new data that will match the query, you will get notification by email, whether weekly or monthly. And this is a great way to stay on top of things. And let's say you see something that you feel that you want to learn more about. Just set the alert. You can always turn it off, and you will get an email to your inbox saying, hey, there is a new data for you. Check it out. The other thing is everything you saved to your mobile. We have the mobile app, which I will talk about in a second. Everything you save to the mobile phone can be shown here. We have also folders, so anything you save can be used in the folders, can be organized in folders, and you can also share the folder. For example, you can see here the materials folder is shared with one more person. And here's a list of everything I saved. I can filter it by the content, but whether if it's a book, an equation, or just a search query. I can filter it by the activity, comment, save to mobile, or notes, and of course by time. The other tab is My Activity. This is like your browser history page. This is the history page of Knovel. Anything you did is here. And you can refine it, of course, by time and all activities. Let's talk about Knovel to Go. As I said before, we have a mobile app for phones and tablets, iOS and Android. You are free to download it. There is no need for any extra subscription or any extra contract. If you have access to Knovel, you can download it for free and use it. When you use it, you can download the full book to the app and keep reading it even offline. And it syncs immediately with the web app. So anything you save immediately appears there and you're free to use it. Usually, I know a lot of people who use it while commuting to work. Nowadays, it's not the case, but you are free to use it if you want. In summary for Knovel, and then I will talk a little bit about the other tool. We saw that Knovel is a data platform for scientists and researchers. We saw that Knovel has interactive tools to help with calculations, and that My Knovel can improve collaboration. When you save everything in folders and you share the folders with other people, they can see what you work on. They can comment on that, and it will increase your collaboration. So I'm curious to know, which feature did you like the most? And let's launch another poll. And you can only choose one. I see here a question in the chat. Is there an app for iPhone? Yes, both iPhone and Android. Just go to the Apple Store and try Knovel to go. If you have any problems finding it, let me know. Okay. Thank you for that. So most of you like the interactive equations. Can you share in few sentences, why did you like it the most? How can you see it's efficient for you? What are the challenges that you found before without it? If someone wants to share. Maybe about a different feature, why you like it, how do you do it now, and how can it be better now? Okay, so I will continue. I mentioned before that we have here at the right side, Engineering Village. This is another tool that we have. And this is a discovery tool, discovery for information. And let me talk a little bit about it. What is EV? Short for Engineering Village. It is a search and discovery platform for engineering research. We have 13 of the most comprehensive databases available. For example, Compendex, InSpec, and I'm sure you know them. We have 200 engineering disciplines, and top 20 of the top engineering schools worldwide are subscribers to Engineering Village, as well as hundreds of other companies and universities. So you know you're in good hands when you use it. With Engineering Village, you have access to discover journals, conference proceedings, standards, dissertations, books, and patents. You are able to discover them, and then you can go and see the full text. And I want to show you it. Let me show you how to use Engineering Village with Knovel. So we have it here at the right side. Just a second. Yes. Whenever you look for something in Knovel, you have also the results from Engineering Village. If you click on one of them, you're redirected to the Engineering Village tool, which is also a web app that you will have access to starting this Monday for a trial of 2 months. And this is the data of this journal. You can see all the details. And you can click here for the full text. And let me show you the homepage of that. So it works more or less the same. You can see here all the databases that we have. You can choose all of them, or for example, only Compendex. And the query works in the same way. So I can look for heat transfer. I can even add something and say heat transfer and energy efficiency. And here I can see all the results. And on the left side, you have filters. So you can filter it by open access, then you don't need to purchase any extra access to that. You can filter it by the words, by the document type, by the year, but one of the really nice ways is to use physical property. So for example, here we can choose pressure. We can change the units from Pascal to torr or whatever you feel comfortable with. Then you can put a range of this pressure or any other property you want. When you hit refine, you will get all the data that has something to do with this range. So it saves you a lot of time of just trying to understand what is the right range of pressure within all the results that you have. It's a really good way to find fast and easy what you want. And if you scroll down here, you have search, you have Knovel search. So this is why I said those two tools work perfectly together. You can look for something in Knovel and see the results in Engineering Village and vice versa. And you can see it here. And then you are in Knovel now, so you can choose the all or the books, graphs and tables, and you can go from here to the interactive tools, as I showed you before. So, do you have any questions? This is the end of my presentation.
Wow. Thank you, God. 11.
Somebody wants to share why do you like it? Why didn't you like it? If you have anything, any comments, please let me know.
You know, I like the fact that you can have the full text of searches that you perform. And some of those, it only lets you see just enough. And then if you want it, if it's available, you can purchase it. But yours will let us see all of the full text of search that you perform. And if I understood you correctly, you do not have to register for a Knovel or have to set it up like with usernames and passwords.
Okay, so 2 questions, something to clarify. Everything in Knovel, everything you see in Knovel, you have full access to. In Engineering Village, this is only a discover platform, so you discover the data, the article, the journal. You don't necessarily have the access to it.
Okay.
By a Knovel, you have it, and you can toggle here. You can include out of subscription. So it depends. I showed you before the subscription that you have, and you can see if you have a result that is not on your subscription, but then you can always purchase it.
Okay, got it.
You have a lot of subscriptions, and usually we match it to the organization. So usually you get everything you need. You already have access to.
All right.
In terms of registrations, you don't have to register. If you register, you can save and share, but you don't have to. You can use it as a guest, let's say.
Okay.
But if you want to save to the folders, share with someone, comment, place notes, you have to register.
Okay.
And registration, I mean, if you have access, you can register. It's just a matter of filling in your email and name, and that's it. It's not, there's nothing more than that.
So we don't need anyone on the KBR side to give access to this.
Okay, so all of you should have access to that. If not, it's something that we should fix, but you should have access to that. And you need to go to app.knovel.com.
Hi, this is funny. I have a quick question. So
Fine.
I was trying on my other screen, trying to get access to some of these things, but I do not have access. I mean, I can see the links, but when I click on the link, it's taking me to a page where I need to log in.
Yeah, see that.
Okay, and you've never logged in before? You don't know what your credentials are for that?
No, I've never logged in before. This is the first time I'm hearing about Knovel.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay, I will talk with Katriana on that, and we should fix it for you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just one thing funny. I will at the end I will show my email and my phone number. If you can drop me an email, that would be the best.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
My name is Sakib, and I have a question.
Hi.
I sent one question texted to you. It's about, like, there's a lot of research which goes on in science and engineering. So how do you keep up with that? Like, do you update it, and how often do you update your novel?
How often do we update it?
Yes.
So Knovel it's mainly for books.
Yes.
It's being updated all the time. But keep in mind that sometimes if there is a new book, it takes time until we are able to share it in Knovel. So sometimes a publication launch a new book to the market, but it takes time for us to get the access to it as well as to other tools to get access to it.
So what about the journals?
Usually quick. And the Engineering Village, every time we have every time there is a new journal, you get it here because we search. Let me show you here. The search in Engineering Village is being done on those databases. So as long as those databases have it, we can find it in Engineering Village. And usually updates quickly.
What about the journals and publications? Because sometimes there are individual publications, sometimes there are these publications in the journals and so on.
Yeah,
How
that's
do you
true. That's true.
do that?
I can't tell you a general answer. It depends. If there is something specific that you know that you want me to check, if you can email that to me, I will definitely check and let you know. But I don't know because it depends and it varies from specific publication to the other.
So generally, it's based on the contents from the books.
Can you please say it again?
The novel application is based on the contents from the books, right?
Yeah, and yeah, sure. And the use of the interactive tools, which is the graphs and equation tables. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Thank you for asking.
Like this means that we have some limitations. Not like you cannot actually count on everything, right? Since it's based on content from books, so there may be information which may not be available from other sources, right?
So let me show you again. The sources you have are those. So these are the topics you are subscribed to. You are subscribed to in Knovel, and of course you can find books that on those topics but are not in Knovel.
Okay.
But we have most of the books and most of the relevant books. I haven't heard, again, not a long time in the company, but I haven't heard of someone who needed a book and didn't find it here.
Okay.
Unless it's a unique publication, something really new and not common at all.
Mm-hmm. I think there are some more questions if you see from the people.
Yeah, if you have any more questions, let me know. And just let me show you. Yes, so, oh, sorry. Now you don't see anything, right? Yeah, just a second. Okay, so these are my details, and this is the details of Marinus, which is the SSM, the Sales Solution Manager for you. If you have any questions, please reach out by email or by phone. And I mean it, please do not wait to another webinar or for another meeting we're going to set in the event. If you want me even to repeat some of the presentation for you and you have some time, just please contact me on the email. We can set another Zoom meeting, even for 5-10 minutes. We can show you what you need and you can go back to work. So please, any questions, you have direct line from me. Feel free to use it.
And can we download the app on our iPhone or Android?
Yes, you can use iPhone or Android or any tablet or so any ISO or Android tablet.
Okay.
Yeah, so feel free to use it.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions?
No, thank you, David.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you,
you very
David.
much. And
Thanks,
we'll get
David.
the
We appreciate it.
slides.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will send you
Thank
the slides in the video later today.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.